Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Christian Hannah here today. Before I get any further, we're going to be talking about It. And I usually don't ever do movie reviews, but this is one movie I'm going to review. And if you haven't seen the movie, this is the only time you'll ever hear Christian Hannah say this. Stop the video now, because it will have spoilers in it. Because I really need to talk about these films. It's a review of the new It, but I'm going to be bringing up the old It a lot because there's things I want to talk about and mention. Okay, so I saw the movie, and right off the bat, let's do this. Out of 10, I'll give it a 8. Give it a solid 8. Now, let's say this now. Straight off the bat, do I prefer the original or the remake? I prefer the original. But, hold on. I have a lot of good things to say about this. So hold on and bear with me because we're going to talk about the new It. Okay, so my first thing, I saw this movie in the theaters, and it was a hell of an experience. It was a very enjoyable film. So I'm not going to go through the story. We all know the story. We've all seen the original. Let's just kind of go. My first take on the film. Things I really liked. The children were absolutely phenomenal. I dare say I enjoyed the children in the remake a little bit more than the children in the original. The children in the remake were funny. They all had good personalities. I knew exactly who I related to in the kids. The kids were great. The kids were phenomenal. I love that the story really revolved around that. One thing I was glad about, you kind of get the sense in the remake of, I think her name was, the girl's name. Her name slips my Beverly. You get a real hint that the dad is abusive sexually to her. And I like that they really didn't go, like, there was no need to really have to show much of that. You figured it out. And I like that they just kind of took that stance on it. They didn't have to show you any of that. It's more unsettling just knowing it rather than him actually showing you. So I thought that was a smart move. I like that the movie started immediately with the sailboat. I think that was I had a feeling it was going to start out like that, and I enjoyed that start for the movie with the sailboat. I thought that was a good start to the movie. Let's talk about the clown. That's why we're all here. The gentleman's name who performed, I don't remember his name, but first off, I want to say, obviously, he did a fantastic job. He had a good twist on the character. He was more bumpy as opposed to Pennywise was, kind of more like that. I really think if I watch it again, I'll enjoy it even more. I'm ready to own it on DVD already. I really am. I don't think it comes on home video for sometime next year. I will say the look of the clown. I adore the look. He has like a medieval look to it. I know this is not a great representation. It's my Funko Pop. I loved the look of the clown. I like the hair. I like the costume. I like that it was different than the Tim Curry one. One thing I noticed with the movie is whenever the kids were on screen, time almost stood still in the movie. I really felt like I could sink deep in with these characters in the movie. The kids, time stood still. And I could really, like I said, I could sink into the characters. I could really get underneath their skin. When those kids were on screen, I was no longer sitting in the movie theater. I was in the group of kids. That's the way I felt. I really try to get lost in movies. One thing I had a slight problem with the Pennywise scenes, and this is not a knock. It has nothing to do with the character himself. I really just think it has the way to do with the way the movie was filmed. Whenever Pennywise came on screen, I felt like things were a little too much like this. I wanted a little bit more of a tempo to it. I felt like when Pennywise came on screen, it was a little too, and part of that is editing. I think this movie could have had some very eerie shots just showing Pennywise in the corner looking or doing this. And there were some of those moments. There just weren't enough. Um, I'm not a fan of the CGI in the movie. It serves its purpose in this movie, and it gives it a certain style, and it works, but it's just not my forte. It's not what I really enjoy. I'm a fan of old school cinematography, slow, long shot stuff, and I think this movie could have benefited look-wise from that a little bit more. You know, I don't really have a problem with the way the guy portrayed Pennywise. I liked his kind of more little bit of a goofy, not goofy, just his presentation to the children. I did enjoy that, and I did find one minute detail that I adored. Um, in the original Pennywise, the original It, you notice the flick of the switch in It when Georgie in 1990 asks him, do they float, and Pennywise looks at him and he goes, they float, they all float. His lip curls a little bit and his eyes kind of haze over a little bit, and it's so disturbing. If you go back and notice that, it's very disturbing. One thing that the remake did, and it's different, but it worked. It worked just as good for me, and my blood kind of curled up a little bit. Was the moment where the drool comes off the lip? I thought that was absolutely perfect. It's just a subtle moment in the film, but it was beautiful. I loved it. I was like, oh man, this guy means business. I did enjoy the fact that you did see some blood and guts in this. You didn't get that in the original, and I can appreciate a little bit of that. I can appreciate a little bit of blood and guts. That poor child lost his arm in the film, and then Pennywise sucked him down. The only problem I have with the Pennywise scenes was it has nothing to do with this gentleman right here who played him. He did a fantastic job. My problem was kind of more so with the way the movie was shot. Too much quick cuts, too much fast, boom, 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 boom. The final scene when the kids are battling them. Give me some long stuff. Let me see the kids get a full extension and hitting them. It was just cut, 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 cut. It was like a Fast and the Furious type thing, and I don't like that. I get lost. I forget that I forget that I lose myself in that world, and I have to stop and I have to say, okay, let me try to make sure I see what's going on. So the cinematography and the way it was shot was a little bit of my problem. But as far as the character goes, he did a fantastic job. This is what I told Sydney. I think she kind of agreed with me when we were talking about this. This one was more so like an alien film, jump scares, boom, 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 whereas this one was Silence of the Lambs. This one was you're sitting there watching Pennywise, and they got him on camera, and you're looking at this guy, and he's haunting and he's mesmerizing. So both different aspects, and they both worked 100% for what they were doing. So I wouldn't have made this film any other way. They did a fantastic job. But what I get at was the reason I prefer the original. It has nothing to do with this gentleman who played the character did a fantastic job. I like the more of the Silence of the Lambs type feel to the movie. When Pennywise comes on screen, time stands still in the original. You forget where you're at. You're locked in on this character, and you can't take your eyes off of him. And you get that same sense from this movie. It's just unfortunately, as soon as he gets aggravated or gets ready to pounce, it's cut, 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 cut. It's half a frame a second. And that's my only problem was I don't like the Fast and Furious type editing when he comes on screen and starts attacking the kids. I want to see more of him. I thought one thing they did very well was with the kids' nightmares, where Pennywise portrayed their deepest fears, that painting of that weird-shaped head. That was fabulous. The kid who saw the leper, that's the kid I identified with because I look like him, I think. I was telling Stan, that's me. I look like that kid, especially when I was his age. So that was who I related to. And the leper, that came on screen, that zombie leper, fabulous. Fabulous work. So, I definitely give this movie, I think I really give it a 9 out of 10. The more I talk about it, the more I think about the movie now, I stop and say, that really was a good movie. It really was. It was very enjoyable. I never once got bored with it. And I just thought it was great. And, I think it's great that this movie made so much money. And, and they're both great films. They're both great films. This is a strange occurrence, ladies and gentlemen, where you have two phenomenal films. You got the remake, which was stupendous, and you got the original that is just as stupendous. And I think people can love both of these equally. I really do. And I think over time I will love both of them equally. You got to understand, I've got multiple experiences with this. I've got a kinship to this movie. I've only seen this one once. But, the more I watch it again, I think the more I'll enjoy it. I really do. So that's my review of it. Only complaint with the movie really was just not a huge. The CGI. My thing with the CGI is that I realize I'm watching a movie when CGI comes on screen. I lose getting lost in the film. I love practicality and I love small, old school cinematography. So just the way the movie was shot in certain scenes, which especially when Pennywise came on, the fast cuts and the CGI, just not my style. Not knocking it. It serves its great purpose, and sometimes it works. You have to do it. But I wish they could have gone for a little bit more practicality in the film. Other than that, bravo. Bravo. I'm not going to be one of those people that has to be different and just tries to knock the film because everybody's praising it. No, it was a good film. So, that's my review of it. I'd love to know what you guys think. Please drop a comment below and tell me. This is Christian Horror with a rare review of a movie, and we'll be back very soon.